Welcome everybody, Assonation Auto World here. Today we want to look at one of the luxury SUVs on the market. So on the episode today, let's focus on this car here, the 2012 Range Rover Sport. We've known a few issues about Range Rovers, and Range Rovers being known for their reliability. But today we have this one here that we can take an up-close view and then go around it with what it has, have you feel what a Range Rover has, what it packs inside, outside, and all that. So welcome on board. We'll start from the front here. So one of the strongest lighting system on cars at that time and age was the headlights on the Range Rover. So we have the outer rings on them, LEDs that would flicker and sometimes have as daytime running lights, and then HID headlights as well as just normal halogen for full beam. Down here, just a normal bumper with fog lights, a few bits here for non-functional purposes, and then normal bumper here, nothing to call out about it. The grille here, nothing as well to call out about it. A Range Rover badge over there and the lights. So come down to this other side, we have the wing and the should we call the gill, ile kitu ya samaki kupumua. Yeah, we have this vent here for cold air getting in, or rather hot air escaping from the hood and coming out from this other end. On this side here we have the mud flaps. Before then this one has 19 inch alloy. So down here we have these side skirts that would cover the door so that you don't get dirt and mud on this side of the car. For instance, if you went off-roading with this car, if you now getting off the car, so when you go down here, you normally have mud here that would go onto your trouser and your shoes. So this bit here is covered by the door, and then of course we have side steps here, or running boards, that you can probably step on them as you step onto the car. So for these SUVs, you don't really get in the car per se, you like a bus sit on, right? Yeah, so we proceed down the sides. Let's just close that door. Nothing much, normal things going on. Alloy as well. As we come around to this other end, we have the tail lights here, LED tail lights. These were the updated version from the original version that came in 2005. So these were the later models, 2012. So here, typical Land Rover, we have a tailgate here. We'll get to open it a bit later. But here we had the split tailgate. This top comes up and then this lower one comes this way down, with a carrying capacity of about 150 kg. So normal sized people, wale watu waje fura sana, two of them can sit on the tailgate and probably have a drink. Down here we have bumper with parking sensors. A problem with this one here that has come out. Then twin exhaust, but it's a diesel V6. Reflectors here, nothing unique going on there. And then we have your fuel filler cap over there, normal for diesel. And then you can look at how wide the car is. It's a huge car, it's an SUV. Compare these to other cars, it's wider and then taller. Same thing going on this other side. Very huge wing mirrors that at time would give you a lot of wind noise going on. Yeah, so under the bonnet we have gas struts that hold the bonnet up. This one, as clean as you can see it, this is a 3.6 liter TDV8. That is turbo diesel. Stock engine with around 236 brake horsepower. So nothing much to talk about it here, other than talking about a few things that would go wrong with this engine. So buying this car, a few things that may go wrong with this Land Rover engines. Number one, after around 150,000 kilometers or so, the high pressure pump goes. The high pressure pump is located just behind here. So we have two fuel pumps. We have actually three. We have two in-tank fuel pumps, one on either side, that will bring in pressure. Electric fuel pumps will bring in fuel under low pressure, and then the pressure is amplified with this high pressure pump that is driven by a belt of the off the crankshaft. So the belt drives the pump and then distributes fuel onto the fuel command rails, and then definitely into the injectors. And then this throttle body also brings issues after some mileage. EGR issues, EGR leakages from these joints, that joint, as well as from under there. So the best bit of it is after a few 100,000 kilometers, you can blank out the EGR. We normally have aftermarket EGR blanking kits. Yeah, and then the water pump becomes a problem after some time. You just replace that. It's a tiny little thing. Costs about $100, but so just under here, under the viscose fan, you take it out, and then a few bits and pieces fuel related in terms of injectors, but the main pain points for these cars are the suspension. People tend to think that for this being an SUV, an off-roader per se, that they are quite capable of going off-road and then doing lots of things. The best Land Rover that could go off-road and come back was the last Defender, the new one, probably with all the electronics on board. Reliability wouldn't be as the old one. Yeah, that is just to say the air suspension on these cars are the most problematic. So the airbags like to go out, they will start leaking. You would find the car leaning on one side in the morning or either side in the morning, and then it's prudent to replace both, which are not cheap items. And then the same thing will happen on the rear. Yeah. Something else to mention other than that, regular oil changes and filters, air filter, oil filter, and then the actual engine oil will have you smiling every time you get into the car. Just don't harass it. This is not a car for the first timers in the motoring world that would want to always floor them every now and then. If you keep flooring this car, if you keep just treating it like a race car, it has been reported on several cases. The crankshafts on these cars do break, as well as the pistons can be fried, and then you're looking at a bill of about $1 million shillings. That is $10,000 for another replacement engine, or a proper rebuild on your engine will take you up to about 500,000, which is just about $5,000. For those who keep wondering what is this is a fuel heater system, diesel heater. For the cars that came from Europe, probably ex-UK, this particular unit here heats up diesel before diesel flows to start the car. That is in the case where it is during winter and then everything is frozen. So this little body here will heat up diesel before it goes there, so that your car fires right up. Yeah, we can get in here, look at the interior. So we have this center console here, this space here for, this is the key, this is how a Range Rover key looks like. Two cup holders, your gear levers here. This is the terrain mode control system. It's normally called terrain control module. Yeah. So you have these levels here for normal driving. We have this for mud and ruts, you have this for rocky, you have this for grass, and so on. And then you have this button here, this is for hill descent control. So when you're going down a steep slope, you can just press on this button and then let off from the brake, and then the car will just take itself down, braking each individual wheel as it takes you down the steep slope at a desired speed. And then this one here is for raising the suspension. This one will take you up, and then this one will lower it down. We have this space here for a fridge. This car has a fridge here, so that way you put it on, that way you put it off, and then it's a cooler box fridge here. And then a connectivity for USB here, and then if you had an iPod, or you still have one, you would connect it from there. We have here an analog clock, and then a few buttons here for the radio, for the stereo, home button, power, mode, like so. It comes on. A very powerful Harman Kardon system, yeah, that will show you the radio stations and all that. Put it off, and then down here we have your air conditioning. This knob here for temperature, that way for low and high heating, as well as automatic air conditioning and such. That is for the passenger side, this is for the driver side, and then this one here for the heated seats, if you are heating the passenger seat, and then this one heating the driver's seat. Also we have this button here for traction control, so you can choose to put your traction control all the way off. Coming to this side, we have two glove boxes. We have one here at the top where you can fit your documents here. This is the Land Rover owner's manual and all that. We also have the second one down here that you can put a few more things there in that, plus this other storage compartment up here. So the dashboard is very soft leather here, leather padded. The steering wheel as well. Some of these cars had heated steering, but this one doesn't have. Yeah, so if I take you close here on the steering wheel and the controls here, so we have the cruise control here for you set it, and then resetting it or cancelling it. And then if you want just to go back to it with the previous speed you had, you will press that button. On this other side, we have this for Bluetooth connectivity. You receive a call, you end a call, and then you press that one to for voice commands. And also this one, the toggle switches here, the buttons here for toggling or moving through the clock there for driver configurations and other information. So I'll put the ignition on. The car fires right up. So as I was saying, this one here goes through various menus on the clock. Hood open. The bonnet is not fully closed. Left front door open, and so and such on. So fault messages will come on. Switching on your lights, just here, the switch is here. So on 0 there, that's where it's off. That is for parking lights, and then for normal beams, and then if you want your lights on automatic mode, so that they come on whenever it's raining or whenever it senses darkness. So whenever it's raining, because most of these European cars have something that we call the auto-linked feature. Auto-linked feature works with the wipers. So if at all you if at all it starts raining and then you're in the car, and then automatic wipers come on, so the car senses that. For the fact that automatic wipers have come on at full speed, that means visibility also is reduced, and therefore the car will put on your headlights. So as soon as the rain goes down, the wiper speed goes down, the headlights also will be switched off. Okay, here at the back of the Range Rover, legroom is not bad. I had this seat further back to the farthest position, but we still have legroom. Headroom up here, it's all good. People over 6 feet will still have headroom, because this is a wider and large car. Sitting for 3 here, although the middle seat is not the widest, but yeah, having that it's an SUV, so everything is high up. The transmission tunnel is low into the body, so you don't have a hip on the floor, so it's fairly flat here. So people sitting at the middle here will be comfortable, but people sitting 3 abreast here, it can be quite tight, but still so good. So what happens is you have this part here which serves as an armrest. Yeah, armrest for the people sitting here at the middle, like so. You can as well have this one get in there, and you have your nice armrest if you're sitting two at the back. Yeah, so quite enough space here at the back. We will go and check out the boot. The boot of the Range Rover. Yeah. We can check in here. You don't have a massive space because this is not the Vogue but the Range Rover Sport. The Discovery is a bit more spacious than this because you also notice the Discovery has 2 extra seats, 1 extra row of seats that makes it 7-seater. So the boot is spacious enough. A lot of cargo will fit in. That is the puzzle shelf. You can just slide it into these lock points and back again. Under here you have storage for a few things. The jack is here, the tow hook, and then the wheel spanner is here, and this little metallic what should we call them? Yeah, but you put them under your wheels in case you're doing a wheel change. I can just show you that quickly. So after you jack up the car, this is how you use them to make sure that the car doesn't roll back while on the jack. This is how you use them. You don't go looking for some rocks or anything. This is a Range Rover. Yeah, and that is how they work. So put it back there. Spare wheel for this one is normally under the car, down here. It is fitted down here under the car. You can see that. So you just wind it down and then wind it back up. This one doesn't have an electric tailgate, and also, as I said before, this one doesn't have split tailgate. It's just one complete unit. So we will take it for a quick spin. Push to start, which is how the air conditioning on auto. Reduce the fan speed. Into drive. Parking brake off. Off we go. So this is how it illuminates in there. The hood is still open, but we are not going far. Yeah, so into a Range Rover, the thing is so smooth on the air suspension. You don't really feel the bumps on the road. If you can tell, if you've ever driven one of these things at times at high speed, this thing doesn't have bumps. It just flattens them as you go. Yeah, so it's like being on a boat, just floating over and about. Yeah, so this is the view while in here. So we have sun visors on each side with vanity mirrors and little lights in them, and this side as well, the rear view mirror, which has an auto dimming feature. So if somebody has their full lights from behind, the mirror will automatically dim itself from reflecting into your eyes. A quick spin down the road. Yeah, so driving a Range Rover, first of all, you have very good command of the road, especially with it having being an SUV. You sit high up. It doesn't mean you'll be looking down upon other drivers on the road, but you sit high. You have quite a very good command of the road, looking over the bonnet and the road ahead. Yeah, so driving position is nice. The wing mirrors are not too big; they are proportional to the car, and this thing has quite enough power to take you anywhere you wish. Yeah. So the ride here is quite smooth. So the things to look out when looking for a Range Rover, as I had said, look for regular oil changes, as well as just looking at bushes. The bushes do wear out quite fast because this is a huge car, and therefore it's very heavy, so it's through the bushes. This car, it's through the brake pads quite a lot if you are heavy footed. So if you float and then keep braking, this thing will eat into brake pads quite fast. Interior, nothing really breaks other than normal wear and tear on the panels here. You can see wood finishes here, normal wear and tear would apply every now and then, but not as bad. But when these Land Rover units start aging, you might start finding electrical faults in terms of a lot of wiring issues, electrical issues. But majorly all of them begin with dying or a dead battery. So if you notice your Range Rover or your Land Rover Discovery has some fault codes or fault messages like suspension fault, HDC fault, or special program unavailable, chances are probably your terminals are loose, your battery terminals are not tight, or your battery is just dying. So these modern cars have a lot of electronics and have a lot of modules that do control these electronics. So these modules do wake up at whatever time they would feel like, or do suffer from memory loss at various points. So you may find faults that are not actual faults, so you just need to swap in with a new battery and then you're good to go, or you just need to charge your battery and then you're good to go. Yeah, so that is the feel with the Range Rover. But if you are running on a budget, do not try these Land Rover units. They will fleece you, they will impoverish you. They are not cars for the faint-hearted. These are cars that can come back home very well, driving nicely, everything, but then in the morning it will not fire up. And then on diagnosis you'll be told something like crossover pipe. These are some of the things that do go quite often on these cars. A crossover pipe, and then the labor to get it out and replace it, as well as buying it. Also, the gearbox on these cars were not the best, especially the earlier ones with the ZF 6 HP, especially those ones fitted on this Range Rover Sport, as well as the Discovery 3. The gearboxes used to fry their clutches whenever they were not attended to properly. But on the later versions, for instance, this one has the updated ZF 8 HP, that is the 8-speed ZF automatic transmission is much better. But always make sure you check and replace your gearbox oil and filter after every 100,000 kilometers. But really, if you can afford a Range Rover and you can afford to take care of it, you can be attending to your gearbox after every 50,000 kilometers, and then that will make sure that you don't have any gearbox issues. Oil changes do happen after every 7,000, between 5 and 7,000 miles, but you can keep doing it at about just 5,000 kilometers. Do regular service with fully synthetic engine oil. So that is it guys for this Range Rover. If you're new on the channel, please make sure to subscribe, make sure to hit the bell icon to be notified anytime we upload a new video. Like it and share it with your friends as well, for your support to the channel and for the channel to grow, and for you and your people to get more content and fresh content every time we are doing fresh things on the channel. Thank you very much.